So let's talk about why it matters and what we're missing about the urgency. President of the Eurasia Group, Ian Bremmer. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Chris, my pleasure.
So now we have the man who could be the Republican nominee for president. I think Governor DeSantis could beat Trump. And he has totally changed his position on Ukraine. He was saying we got to muscle up, we got to give them more, everything that like Biden is saying, he was saying. Now he's 180 degrees in the other direction. Why? What's going on with our political right and Ukraine?
Well, Trump's in a very different position, of course, from Biden and from the Republican leadership, from McConnell and McCarthy, both of those Republican leaders who have said in the last weeks that they are on Team Biden when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. And there aren't many things that they would say that about. But, Chris, with due respect, I think that the headlines on DeSantis have misplayed it a bit. What's happened is that Tucker Carlson, who, we don't exactly trust to play straight, he gave a series of questions to all of the potential Republican presidential candidates out there. And he was egregiously leading the witness. First of all, he asked, is it a vital U.S. national security interest, Ukraine? Didn't ask if they support present U.S.-Ukraine policy or if they support the amount of defense support that the Americans have given. They said, do you consider a vital interest? I'm not sure how the Biden administration would all respond to that. And secondly, they asked, well, if there are, given the fact that the Russian economy is doing better this year than it was last year, and that their currency is doing better, do you think that sanctions are working? Should they stay in place? Russian economy is not doing better. It's contracted. When it was growing, one of the fastest levels of all the G20, ended up getting smaller. And yes, it's true that their currency is at higher levels because it can't buy anything. I mean, the Soviet ruble was worth more than $1. You go to a store, you couldn't buy anything there. So this was Tucker Carlson absolutely just flooding the zone with crap. And if you read DeSantis's responses, frankly, they're reasonably well aligned with existing Biden policy. Oh, he hedges by calling it a territorial dispute. He says we shouldn't be providing F-16s. Biden also says shouldn't be providing F-16s. But what DeSantis actually says is not so radically different from the Republican leadership. Trump here is the outlier. He's a dramatic outlier. His policy is 100% aligned with the policy of China on Russia, Ukraine. And that, of course, given the fact that Trump could still very well get the nomination, is the big problem.
But look, we know there are two reasons for Trump's position. One is he's an isolationist, but two, because he thinks it's a waste of money because he doesn't believe in, fighting for anything other than what is of direct concern to him. And two is that phone call
doesn't believe in NATO, any of that. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. But he's angry because he thinks Zelensky did him dirty. So now he hates the whole country. And he'll go, so that's him.
Absolutely.
But I'm telling you, DeSantis, a guy who's putting together a list of books to burn, he's not afraid of taking a bold position. And on this one, I'm telling you, there's something weird here, and it's at a weird disconnect with the country. We have over 2 in 3 Americans every time they poll saying it's better to give them money, essentially to have them fight for us as proxies so we don't have to be on the ground there, which would be a lot more expensive. And yet there's constant tension about it here that I just don't understand.
Well, look, I think DeSantis is seeing that among self-declared GOP voters that there has been a substantial softening of their willingness to provide continued military support to Ukraine compared to where it was several months ago. He also sees that Trump is loud. He is still the most popular leader in the Republican stage, and he's staking out that position. So I think what DeSantis is doing, and DeSantis is hardly a foreign policy expert. His team is working this stuff out. I doubt he drafted that himself. He's saying, I want to hedge. I want to be able to go wherever the wind is going to be blowing on Russia, Ukraine. Ukraine in 6 months' time because I've got a long fight in front of me. And I think that's exactly what he did. He didn't stake out a tough position like Lindsey Graham did, or Kevin McCarthy did, or McConnell did, or Mike Pence. Not like any of them. Even Mike Pompeo, Trump's former Secretary of State, is taking a fairly tough-minded position on supporting Ukraine and opposing Russian aggression.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.